This Shabbos is Vayakhel-Shkalim. And the Mishnah tells us that on the 1st of Adar, they would start announcing that the people had to bring the Machatzit shekel, which was the money that all the Jews gave to bring the Korbanot Tzibur, the Korbanot that were brought in the Beit HaMikdash. And we read the Parsha of Machatzit shekel this week, because it's the week leading up to the 1st of Adar. Rosh Chodesh Adar, Purim is just around the corner. And the Gemara Megillah on Daf Yud Gimel tells us that the reason why we announced that we have to bring the Shkalim and start raising the money towards the Beis HaMikdash is because when Haman made a decree on the Jews, he also had Shkalim. And the Gemara says that we want our Shkalim to come before his Shkalim. It seems like a play on words. What is the depth behind this idea of the Gemara? That we bring a Machzah shekel before Haman brings his shekel, and somehow that seems to prevent him from harming the Jews? That's one question. And another question on the topic of Purim is, the halacha says that you're allowed to get married on the day of Purim, which is strange because on a regular Yom Tov, you're not allowed to get married. Ein ma'arvim simcha v'simcha. You're not allowed to mix up the joy of Yom Tov with the joy of the wedding. How come on Purim you are allowed to get married? Let's go to the depth behind the Machzah shekel. The Al-Sheikh writes that the reason why we give a half a shekel and not a full shekel is because the whole principle behind the shekel is to teach us that we're one nation, that we're united. And if everyone would give their own shekel, they would feel complete. They would feel, I'm independent of everyone else. I'm able to suffice by myself. It comes along the mitzvah of Machatzit shekel, when we're coming up to the Beis HaMikdash, and when bringing the Korbanot Tzibur, which is the central place in the Beis HaMikdash, which unites all the Jewish people together. And we say, we can't survive by ourselves. Korbanot Tzibur have to come from the entire nation together. So we don't bring a full shekel, we bring a half a shekel. Because the half a shekel represents that I'm incomplete without the rest of Am Yisrael. I'm only bringing a half. Comes along the mitzvah of Machatzit shekel, and it prevents Haman and the nation of Amalek from harming us. What was Amalek's principle? What was their belief? What was their philosophy that prevented the Jewish people from serving Hashem? The Baal HaTanya writes that Amalek is the words Am Malak. Malak is where you separate the head, where the Kohen in the Beit HaMikdash would separate the head from the body with his fingernail. Am, the nation who divides. It's a nation of division. We, the Jewish people, in this week's Parsha, describe the building of the Mishkan, which is the place which is Hashem Shechina dwelling down. When we're united as a nation, the presence of Hashem can dwell in this world. Comes Amalek and said, no, there's no connection. There's no connection between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem's Shechina can't dwell in this world because we're not united. And in a sense, they're right. When the Jewish people are not united, Hashem's Shechina cannot dwell in this world. So Amalek comes and does everything they can do to prevent the Jewish people from being united. They're trying to make division amongst the Jewish people. But the Jewish people know to learn that lesson, that we need to be united for Hashem's Shechina to dwell. Comes along the mitzvahs of Purim. Mishloach Manos, Matanos Le'Evyonim. The whole purpose behind the mitzvot of Purim is to create one nation. Lech Knosset Kol HaYudim. The whole nation has to be together, because the power of Amalek against us only works when we're divided. But when us, the Jewish nation, we're one, then Hashem's oneness can dwell upon us. There's a unity of Hashem which can only dwell in this world if there's a unity amongst Hashem's nation. The mitzvahs of Purim all represent us coming together. We come together for the Megillah reading, Lech Knosset Kol HaYudim B'Rov Am Hadras Melech. We come together for the meal, and we come together to give Mishloach Manos and Matanos Le'Evyonim. Comes the Machzah shekel before the shekel of Haman to say the following idea. You know what power Haman has over you? The power of Haman is the power of division. And the only reason he's able to harm us is when we are divided. But if ahead of time, even before Haman's date comes along, we are already showing that we see ourselves as one nation by giving the Machatzit shekel and declaring that we're one nation altogether, our oneness that we create in the world enables Hashem to dwell upon us. And then the nation of Amalek has no ability to harm us. And that's why we're able to get married on the day of Purim. Because Purim is not a day where we're focused on some other mitzvah, remembering Yetziat Mitzrayim, or the receiving of the Torah, and then the joy that we have of getting married will distract us. But rather, the mitzvah of Purim is simcha for the sake of bringing us together. The whole mitzvah of Purim is Lech Knosset Kol HaYudim, the Achdut, the joy of the being together as one nation. So we're looking for any opportunity to have achdut. So having a wedding on the day of Purim is the most beautiful way of expressing achdut. It's taking the man and the woman and creating an achdut. So on a regular Yom Tov, we don't want to be distracted by another joy. But on Purim, the whole purpose is to have anything that will bring us achdut together. Because the mitzvah of Purim is to go against Amalek. Amalek's goal is to divide us, and our goal is to unite. The mitzvah of Machatzit HaShekel is to show that we're united. And that power of unity that we have, which comes to the joy of the mitzvah of Purim and the giving the Machatzit HaShekel, is what enables us to stand strong against all the negative forces that come to divide us. Have a wonderful Shabbos.